Javier Milei won the Argentinian election. Good news, I would say. Finally, a guy who knows how to cut a bureaucracy, or at least wants to. It's better than most. He's actually a staunch libertarian, somebody who understands the perils of government. You've got Argentina with 125% plus annual year-on-year inflation, economic stagnation. Liberate them. Right now, globally, you have this great reset, the disaster of institutional elites across transnational boundaries, shackling the countries through their transnational economic policies. And then you've got the great uprising in response that says hell no to that vision. Well, score one for the great uprising in Argentina. We need to bring that to the United States of America. And I wish him well. Tear down the bureaucracy, shut it down, revive your country, and we're going to see if we can't do the same thing here in the United States.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a stunning defeat of socialism that has happened south of the border, south of the border in Argentina, okay, in Latin America, where socialism is rampant in certain countries, like, for example, Venezuela and Brazil, where, you know, socialism is going to drive Brazil off a cliff. I mean, it's already driven Venezuela off a cliff. And Argentina was at the edge of the cliff, and they were about to jump as well, too, until this election that just happened, in which the people staunchly rejected socialism and more socialist policies from the minister of the economy that was also running in the race, and instead selected a self-described anarcho-capitalist libertarian in Javier Milei.
Voters in Argentina go to the polls Sunday to choose their next president. It's a tight runoff election that could change the direction the country is heading. Stefano Pozzebon has the details.
It's just a matter of hours before the polls open in Buenos Aires, and the contest is closely watched around the world because it pits a far-right candidate, Javier Milei, who is a disruptor and a populist candidate, against the finance minister and the career politician Sergio Massa. Sergio Massa is currently serving as Argentina's finance minister and has pretty much built his career in and out of public office. On the other side, Javier Milei, his challenger, has only entered politics only 36 months ago, and before that he was working as an economist for the private sector. A win for Milei, who is clearly hailing from the hard far right, would mean a change of momentum for conservatives worldwide. Milei has associated himself with the likes of Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil and Donald Trump in the United States, and decisively move Argentina to the right. For example, Javier Milei is proposing to completely privatize the Argentinian public health sector and also to support private education in a country that has always supported public education. Another way this election could transform Argentina for good is because Javier Milei is proposing to completely dollarize the economy of Argentina by getting rid of the Argentinian central bank and replacing the Argentinian peso with the US dollars. Argentina is once again battling record high inflation and struggling to repay international debtors. The plan to switch the currency from the Argentinian peso to the US dollars has triggered a debate among economic think tanks. And for example, it's not so hard to imagine. The Cato Institute in the United States considers dollarization the best way for Argentina to finally provide the reforms that the country so desperately needs.
A seismic political shift is underway here in Argentina as the far-right, radical, outsider and unknown political force Javier Milei has become elected president. Now his supporters are flocking to this hotel, which has become his base camp for the election, and they're partying, they're chanting his name, chanting liberty. The name of his party is Liberty Advances. They're convinced that he is the solution to Argentina's chronic problems. The economy is struggling at the moment with inflation running at 140%, and it means that 40% of the population is living below the poverty line.
Yeah, so you see now you heard that. Now, Javier Milei is an economist by trade. He's a professor. He's been teaching economics and mathematics for over 20 years. He is a proponent of the Austrian School of Economics, which is more right-leaning economic thought and theory. And again, he is a self-described anarcho-capitalist and libertarian, okay? A social conservative as well, too, which means that you're going to get a whole lot of smears from the mainstream liberal media, especially the United States and in the West, about this guy and this victory, okay? They're calling him the Donald Trump of Argentina, okay? The Donald Trump of Argentina, okay? So here comes the smears, right? Like, for example, this headline right here from CNN, far-right outsider, Javier Milei wins Argentina's presidency. And then you have NPR, who initially had called him a far-right, person in the headline. They changed it and they put far-right down here, right? So he's far-right, okay? Axios, far-right. Again, there's a ton of headlines where they're describing this guy as far-right, okay? He's far-right. But what's fascinating is that these people, these outlets that are calling this guy far right did not call his opponent, Sergio Massa, who, again, is the minister of the economy in Argentina, the guy that embraced policies that have led to damn near hyperinflation in Argentina. Again, over 100% increase in over a year. They didn't call him far left, right? I have not seen any articles calling him far left, despite his extreme far left economic policies that have driven this country off of a cliff. Okay, this is why Javier Milei won. But again, the reason why this guy is being smeared is, again, because he disagrees with the left and he's not woke and he really, really, really does not like socialism or socialists. Take a look.
Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera, aunque te resistas. Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología e Innovación, afuera. Ministerio de Trabajo, Empleo y Seguridad Social, afuera. Ministerio de Educación, Adoctrinamiento, afuera. Ministerio de Transporte, afuera. Ministerio de Salud, afuera. Ministerio de Desarrollo Social, afuera. Se acabó el curro de la política. ¡Viva la libertad, carajo!
¿En qué locura estamos viviendo? La locura de la corrección política estúpida, donde básicamente, no, si ustedes no recitan el socialismo cool, si ustedes no son woke, entonces son violentos, son un peligro para la democracia. Vamos, muchacho.
Seguro.
Sigamos con estas estupideces y en lugar de ser 140, vamos a hacer la villa miseria más grande del mundo.
Donald Trump is running for president of the United States, as you know. What advice would you give him?
Que continúe con su lucha en contra del socialismo, porque es uno de los pocos que entendió cabalmente que la pelea es contra el socialismo, que la pelea es contra los estatistas, y comprendió perfectamente que la generación de riqueza proviene del sector privado. Es decir, el Estado no crea riqueza, el Estado la destruye. El Estado no puede dar nada porque no produce nada. Y cuando lo quiere hacer, además lo hace mal. Entonces, me parece que si yo, desde mi pequeño lugar, lo único que podría decirle es que redoble los esfuerzos en la misma dirección de defender las ideas de la libertad y de no darle tregua ni un solo segundo a los socialistas.
Yeah, so you see now you heard that. Okay, this guy wants to dollarize Argentina. He opposes abortion. He's not on board with the woke climate agenda. He is going to slash unnecessary bureaucracy, such as Argentina's ministries of culture, education, and diversity, and by eliminating public subsidies. He's also said that he is going to slash regulations on gun control and transfer over authority over the penitentiary system from civilians to the military as a way to get tougher on crimes. And he wants to use public funds to support families who choose to educate their children privately, okay, and privatizing the health sector, right? So again, this guy is, he is right up my alley, right? The type of guy that I would probably vote for, because we definitely need some of these types of changes in the United States for sure, okay? Especially when it comes to privatizing education, 100%, and when it comes to slashing bureaucracy, okay? We totally 100% need to enact some of the reforms that this guy is trying to enact in Argentina. But again, the reason why this story is so important is because this could be a Brexit moment, right? In which, a lot of people say that in 2016, when, the Brits voted to essentially leave the European Union, that, that was a moment of a populist kind of uprising, right? A nationalistic type of more conservative uprising, anti-globalist uprising that foreshadowed the election of President Trump, right? And maybe, just maybe, what has happened in Argentina could be a kind of Brexit moment where, again, you see a right-leaning, more populist kind of movement take place, right? An uprising of people who are sick and tired of the socialist, globalist policies that have destroyed their economies. So, hopefully this is a sign of things to come in the United States, right? We can have this type of political revolution here in the United States. We have a second one because the first one was 2016 with the election of Trump. And again, we're going to have another one in 2024. Hopefully, if Trump gets reelected again, I hope that this is a precursor to that, right? I hope that this is a sign of things to come. But hey, this guy isn't the only Latin American leader that has gotten criticism recently from the mainstream liberal media. The leader of El Salvador, President Bukele, he always gets criticism from the left as being some type of authoritarian dictator for cracking down on crime. But look how things have worked out for his country. I mean, that country has basically a historically low rate of murder and is on the up and up. Okay, they're even hosting Miss Universe now. That's how much that country has evolved and changed under new leadership that the left-wing liberal media hates. Yeah, so like I said, if the mainstream liberal media and their track record of hating on far-right leaders, like, for example, Miss Giorgio Meloni out of Italy, or, President Bukele in El Salvador, and this guy, if their track record, right, is to be believed, in which they have a terrible track record, then I think that this guy has a bright future ahead of him as the leader, okay? I'm just saying. But hey, we'll have to see how it works out. It'll be an interesting thing to watch. If anything, it could mean that we could see this type of revolution across multiple countries in the next few years. Hopefully, just hopefully, we have something like this in the United States where we reject this far left agenda that is driving this country off of a cliff. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.